What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to CRÜZR Radio episode number 3. I'm your host, Wesley Hill, joined with my co-host, Mr. Hunter Harris, as well as Mr. Jerry Turner's on the podcast, and the movement specialist, Mr. Justin Ryan. We're going to be talking all things keeping up with your body today as a hunter, as well as we're going to go in and talk about the trade shows, and you guys are going to have the opportunity to meet the new CRÜZR Outdoors team. Let's get into it. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's going on?
Episode number 3. We have officially 5 left before we're no longer part of the 98%.
Whoa.
Couple more to go. Justin, I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Hunter, appreciate you being on it.
No problem,
Mr.
brother.
Jerry, welcome back. You guys excited for this one?
Oh, yeah.
This one's going to be fun. So I'm going to jump into it. Justin, I want to talk to you about everything that you're doing with the movement specialist. So I'm going to go ahead and give you your 1-minute sales pitch, and then we're going to go into it.
1 minute. All right. Sell me this pen. All right.
Yeah.
So basically, a lot of these guys didn't have any knowledge of what I did before they met me.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want to stay in tip-top shape, and a lot of people's not really in tune with what's going on. You're pulling, you're waking up, you're stretching, you're an old Buick,
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff that I do really just attacks those small little kinks and things we work out, every day. We get tight traps, and
It may not even know it.
yeah. Legs, as soon as you wake up, they load, they're going to be tight. So what I do in my normal day job or whatnot, I do something called body tempering. First 40 in the world.
Yep. Which I want to go into detail about that in just a minute.
Yeah, basically the idea is to keep you moving. You want to be able to get to that tree. You want to be able to climb. You want to be able to drag that deer out. And you want to be able to stay focused on what you're doing, not worry about a kink in your neck, But otherwise, I've worked on all you guys, so you kind of know how it feels. You kind of know what the after effect feels like. And until you get that after effect, you don't understand how bad of a shape you're in.
Yeah, that's something that I've really thought's been interesting about it, especially because I never thought I had problems with mobility until I went and saw you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's wild is it's like you're sitting there and you're messing with my shoulder, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, I can move this 2 to 3 times more than I could before.
More range.
Just in one session, which is just wild to me.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, I don't even know what this muscle is right here, but when you grab it and you pull it, like that's just...
Don't tell
That would
Hunter.
be your saddlebag muscles.
Don't tell Hunter yet. Yeah,
Which
experience
is
this.
Yeah, and then I want you to go into detail as well about your past and how you got started in this.
Okay, so I did a lot of lifting, a lot of gym stuff. 15 years old, 310 pounds of no muscle at all.
Mm-hmm.
So got in the gym, started learning the things, and I actually got a coach, and he was helping me.
So you were like a power lifter.
Well, I was just doing bodybuilding to begin with. I was just doing,
Gotcha.
I would watch people in the gym like, okay, that's what I'm going to do, And of course, like everybody else, I'm going to go to YouTube and be like, okay, that's what I'm going to do today.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No idea. I was screwing myself up. And a guy watched me one day. He said, man, you're pretty strong. He said, why don't you let me coach you? I said, I don't know. I don't want to do any of that, At this point in time, I've went from 310 to 181 pounds on my own, through nutrition, just learning what to do. And I end up tearing that low back muscle right there above the glute almost in half. And, good times. And so I'm going to the doctor. They're injecting me, and they're doing all these things. And
It's not working.
yeah, nothing was, it was helping, obviously, with the inflammation and whatnot, but they're like, we don't know what else to do. So I go to the chiropractor, I go to massage, the PT, did all the steps they wanted me to do, and found this crazy guy online, and he was like, you got to do this and this. I'm like, this dude's crazy, but I kind of like him, So I was like, told my buddy, I said, I'll pay for the way. If you'll take me to South Carolina, I need to meet this guy. And we headed down or whatnot, and he introduced me to body temper, and he used this giant roller and just crushed me into the ground, 200 pounds on my back. I thought he re-injured me, to be honest. And, I mean, prior to this, I couldn't even put a sock on. No lie. Like, I just could not do it.
So it was
like
that's pretty substantial.
I was in bad shape.
And that's exactly where I was before I went and saw you, because we went fishing, and I jumped a little too down, like a little. It was a big jump.
Were you jumping out of the boat or?
No, we were trying to get out like into the riverbank to actually fish, but there was like a little ledge that I had to jump off, and I jumped, and I was like, wait a second, I can't move my back, and I was like, oh crap! So I fished the whole day, and then went like 3 days, and then I went and saw you. But that's where I was.
Yeah.
I couldn't put socks on. I had to get my wife to help me put my socks on, which honestly, as a man, is really embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had my youngest daughter putting mine on, so even worse. Like, oh, I know I can change your diaper.
Honey, come here.
Yeah, do you care to put this sock, Like, all right, what do I got to do? But honestly, he did a few things, and within 30 minutes, I could palm the ground. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, what just happened, Because I'd went to lab school and studied med science and stuff before that, and I'm like,
This shouldn't be happening.
If I could prove this could happen every time, this is something, And, of course, I come back, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, spent about $3,000 on getting these big steel bars machined and made for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be ahead of the curve. And lo and behold, now they were doing that at the Super Bowl on the sidelines this year. So 7-8 years later, they figured out this is the real deal,
Yeah.
So we used that, and throughout my powerlifting career, once that guy started coaching me, and that's whenever I met Ed and all the other guys and girls that I've met along the way, and it become a huge thing. It still is.
So when prior to you going and getting this training or certification, there wasn't nobody doing it around here.
Oh no, not at all. The guy who I went and talked to, him and a firefighter, actually created it. They just kept putting concrete in a PVC pipe. And they're like, the heavier it feels better. And they just kept on getting bigger ones. And they're like, the more pressure, the better it works. So that's how they come up with the idea. And then they went to a chiropractor and a PT and stuff and was like, hey, can you prove and can you tell me that this is something, And here we are. I've actually got the study from Texas University proving that it's factual, that it works on the wall at the office. So
I'm a true believer because,
I am too. Yeah.
He rolled me out about 3 weeks ago. I mean, I've had lower back pain for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Remember I texted you the morning after, and I was like, hey, this is the first morning I've woke up in the last 2 or 3 years and my back ain't hurting.
Yeah. Which honestly, it's like it's a situation that almost wants to bring you to tears because it's like you're so used to having that pain, and then all of a sudden it's just like completely gone.
Well, not only does your body feel better, but like it was like it give me more energy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like your overall like mental health is a lot better, I think, too. I think Jerry's a really good example of that. So Jerry, I'm going to speak a little bit for you before you go into this because I want you to talk about your experience with it. But you had a session like set up with Justin, and before you left, you looked so drowsy and down, and you were just like, I want to get done with this day. And then you got back, and I've never seen a smile on your face so bright. And you were just in full amazement. But I want you to get into that.
Oh, I was super skeptical. I mean,
I was too.
I didn't believe it was going to work.
Yeah.
And I went there. I let him do his thing, and I mean, you could really tell a big difference.
Well, honestly, that's how he. I went over there to pick my platform up, and he was like, "You want me to roll you out real quick?" And I was like, "Huh." I don't know. He was like, and then he went into you and he was like, bro, Jerry did it. And I know how like skeptical and you got to do your research. And I'm like, hey, Jerry did it. I can do it. I was still nervous, but you were the reason that I pulled the trigger.
But the best part, I think, versus saddle, saddle hunting and stuff, whenever I first got the saddle, secretly had in my head, I'm like, I'm going to test this against low back problems. Mm-hmm. I'm going to test this against people who have numb toes and bad hamstrings. That's what I did. nobody knew, but I was testing it against what I knew from a tree stand, a climber, lock-ons, whatever.
Just doing comparisons.
Yeah, and I'm just doing real-life comparisons on myself, and I would literally put myself in wrong positions to see. And I'm like, okay, can I fix that? And I'm going to tell you, like, from going to a session, something like I do, which I have workers that work with me.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that works on me. Shout out to her. Thank you for that, But, she would work on me and stuff, but when we got time, obviously, because we're busy. But I would go out there and I'm sitting and I'm like, okay, what's different? How do I feel? Is this going to be better for someone? And, I even talked to Chad about it before.
You were going, like, super deep into this.
Well, I literally bought it for it. Like, I went back and forth. I was like, I think I might write some medical papers on this. Like, just have it out there one day and be like,
real life stuff.
This is like a real life comparison, And also the reason I might just get me an Archon and run it for a season, just because I want to know. Like, I
see
need
the
to
difference
know.
between the two panel.
Right, and low back problems. Let me just tell you, from what I've found out, a saddle is so much better.
Amen.
Because compression of the lower lumbar spine, that's 90-something% of men's problem.
That's definitely my problem.
Same.
It's more so in the hamstrings more times than not. And we sit right on them when
So
we drive.
weird.
Yeah, it's relation in my head, right?
If you're not, super medically inclined, I guess you wouldn't know that anyways. Because when he told me that the first time, I was like, what?
That don't make
same.
sense. That don't make sense.
But then you actually do it, and you're like, wait, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Just keeping people healthier and getting them in the tree is the idea, The comfort, CRÜZR's got that handled. Now, if people take care of themselves, they're going to be able to do it safely. They're going to be able to go home to their kids or wife, whatever. So that's what I like the most about it right there. I feel like it's benefiting everyone.
Right. You couple the saddle with being able to be more mobile and all that good stuff. It's a recipe for success.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And you're truly more mobile that way.
Right.
Like overall.
And it takes it a step further beyond that, too, where it's like, out of everything, out of all the different ways you can get into a tree, this is, for your body, the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even your one stickers, what do?
Yeah.
They reach down. You make a hard twist once you get past a certain age. And
some of them way down.
Trust me with that. You make one wrong twist and something can come apart. Right? The idea is be preemptive. If you take care of it before it's going to happen, it's probably not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like me putting pressure on your hamstrings, let's just say, right? With all that pressure, your body's used to it. And then it's going to respond and it's going to let it go, It's not just going to resist it and you're going to tear it, right? So it's teaching your nervous system, your body, too, to let go of things and relax. And it knows it can take that shape, and then you're able to move better.
Yeah.
But
We'll go into detail, too, about what else you do beyond just, like, the rollers itself.
So beside the roll and reduce, cupping therapy has been around about 20,000 years.
Yeah.
They found out some studies like Egyptians actually did this. And they would make them little bulb leaves, and they figured out if they put it on their face and would drag it around, it would keep it from getting wrinkled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Collagen production coming to the top. Some people think this is a myth. Some people don't believe in it. There's studies both ways, but so is anything else in the world, right?
Right.
Well, my little brother-in-law bought a little cheap cupping set, and he's been, his back looks like a freaking Dalmatian. And he was telling me, what exactly... Like it brings the blood to the top for the new blood or something. He was trying to explain it to me.
So the thing with cupping, a lot of people say, oh, this guy's bruised up, right?
Yeah.
I know you see it a lot on like UFC fighters now.
Well, that's why it's getting big. We've done this for years. This is not new.
See, because I was one of those people. I thought
I thought
this is kind of new stuff.
I thought it was a bunch of hoopla too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm going to advise you with that new cupping set that you can cause blood flow to go the wrong way. Your heart only flows one way, so we'll stop with that.
Oh, yeah.
Let him know. All right, let's not mess himself up.
Yeah,
right?
no joke.
It started with fire cupping. They take glass jars and they would light a fire in it and they'd deplete oxygen. They'd stick it to the skin.
So it
you
just creates like a vacuum.
so
on
it
your
creates a
skin.
vacuum, right? And that kind of relaxes the muscle. Now we're a little farther into it. The cups I got's got north and south pole, right? Our blood's mostly iron. So to create a way for blood to flow to a certain spot, we need it to go to there and pass there
In the right direction.
in the right direction, and it needs to keep flooding that area, right? Because when you got a stuck muscle or tightness, what that actually is a lot of blood just stuck in a muscle. And it's not moving. So you're feeling the no flow through right there. That's what you're feeling. And your brain automatically responds, says, hey, this is pain. Sends inflammation to the area, and then it's swollen and it's not working correctly, right? So that's when it comes into the hormones, cortisol, and stuff like that.
So is that due to like an injury or like lifting? Or,
You could literally,
or it could be anything.
You could literally just pick your kid up and, make your low back mad.
Oh, okay.
Real
Gotcha.
quick, It's just you wasn't preemptive with it. Now you put yourself in a position and your body tried to protect you. Right? So there's a lot of points that you go to called trigger points, right? And then we go to them and we'll try to get those to let go from your mind. So, hey, let him go. And then you know how it feels. It's not pleasant in some spots.
So you're just busting the roadblock pretty much.
You're pretty much busting the roadblock, but those cells turn over, they surface. You're allowing that blood to flow through.
Gotcha.
It's like putting WD-40 on a hinge again.
Oh,
then it's smooth.
It's got to
right?
be good.
yeah, WD-40 and duct tape. So, I mean, it literally feels that way, too, when you hit some certain spots. And then, it feels different. I mean, you feel different. It feels different. It could run stuff through your lymph nodes. You could spit stuff out your sinuses.
See, because I've never had cuffing done, but it sounds amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie and tell you it's like, oh, this is beautiful, because some of it's like, whew, it's tough.
It definitely hurts a little
okay,
bit.
now we're getting into the meat and taters here.
Yeah, well, I don't lie to you, do I? I don't
No,
lie
you
to you.
do
I'm
not.
like, this is gonna.
I'm just
I was like,
playing.
this is gonna be bad. You
Yeah.
know, I tell them up front. I'm like, all right,
Hey, this could or could not be kind of sucky.
yeah.
I was sitting there, and then literally right before he puts on the cups on, he's like,
Oh,
"Hey,
so
just
you
so
had
you
a
know."
cup and
Oh
sesh.
yeah, I did, and I gotta say it helped a lot. It really did. And well, before I get into that, he looked at me and he was just like, "I just want you to know this is probably gonna feel like you're getting stung by hornets." And I was like, "Okay."
Justin.
He just had a spot that was bad.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was like,
Yeah, no, he was-
but he needs it. So
Yeah.
But
So what,
obviously he already knew what was up. So.
Yeah, no, he did. Well, and I want you to get into the scraping too, because that's something that you do that I think's like really beneficial.
Yeah, so the scraping is similar. I'm trying to get the blood to obviously come to the top, right? But you're really trying to manipulate that tissue and that fascia to do what you need it to do. So what fascia is a webbing around the muscle, okay? The fascia is actually stronger than your bones. So more times than not, a chiropractor can adjust you and it will go back. Now, sometimes it'll stay. I'm not taking away from them. They definitely have their place out there. That's a great thing to, throw in the regimen. But, a lot of people think they can just go to the chiropractor and it's just going to stay every time.
Gosh, that's all I've ever heard. That's all I hear my wife say.
And I mean,
I need to go to the chiropractor.
And I mean, does it do good? Yes, it does very well. And some things, if you come to my office and I'm like, this ain't my field, go see him. I'll tell you, because
I thought, because chiropractic is kind of more like osteo, right? Like bone.
it's all bone.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah, I cannot purposefully try to manipulate anything in the skeleton.
Right.
So you want that fascia, that tissue and stuff to be loose enough. Whenever you leave me, you could go to them, and it takes no pressure for them to put anything in place. And that's ideally what a regimen I would tell you to do for sure.
Yeah,
But-
that's something you told me, because like my wife's got scoliosis and you brought that up. You're like, get her to come see me and then go to a chiropractor.
Right, yeah. And see, that's also like scoliosis, for example. And I was just
Because
talking.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that hunt that
Oh,
have
yeah.
that. Because I feel like it's not
dude,
super
well-
common, but it ain't.
Well, let's be real
uncommon.
here too. No matter what we're sitting in, at some point we're going to feel some sort of back pain while we're
Oh
sitting
yeah,
in
we're
a tree.
all.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah.
human.
you're gonna have tightness no matter what you do.
Right.
How do we live? We live like this right here most of the time. That's what we
Yeah.
all do. They can admit it or not, but that's what we do. And stress is a huge factor. So with the scraping and stress, the traps, you get a lot of impingements. You get a lot of numb fingers, people's, fingers and hands going to sleep.
Oh, dude, my hands go numb when I go to sleep every night.
Well,
Yeah.
scraping would be your plan, right? Because you've got a lot of superficial nerves up there around there.
I just thought I had really bad blood flow.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. That's what it's going to do. It's going to push all that's going to bust it up. It's going to push that and let that blood flow to that next extremity. And
Know what I'm doing tomorrow?
Going to see Justin.
here he comes. All right, here we go. Get this guy some water, please, and a towel to bite down on. Let's go. No.
Yeah, no, something else that I really enjoyed when I went and saw you was because I've always had that tightness in my tendon in my arm. And I didn't say anything to him about it, not a word. And he's like, do you have trouble like extending this arm out? I didn't even do anything. And I was just like, yeah, actually I have a big problem with it. And then he like grabbed the tendon. I don't even know how you did it. For anybody listening and watching, you just need to go see Justin. And we're going to have all of his information below as well so that you can actually contact him. But he pulled my arm, pulled like part of the tendon or whatever you were doing. And then all of a sudden my arm could straighten out all the way. And I was like, what the living heck did you just do?
So he straight hulked your arm.
Dude, straight up. I don't know what it was, but like, and he told me, he's like, why is your arm like this? And then I started thinking about it. And I was like, well, actually, when I go to bed every night, I like take a pillow and I put it in a headlock. Because at night, I'm keeping my arm extremely tight. And he's like, you need to quit doing that. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, his bicep was holding it
So,
down. It
yeah.
didn't straighten for sure.
He's a muscle specialist, part-time psychic.
Yeah, he just knows his stuff. That's what's cool.
It's just reading the anatomy is what it comes down to. You know, you can go to one thing, and, I did that seminar today, and, within 20 seconds, a shoulder that didn't move, it moved. It's like, oh, that rotates. Well, I had surgery. That's fine that you had surgery. You still have scar tissue, and you can still move it. And then, it's one of those things like it's following the roadmap. It's coming down and looking, thinking, everything has a problem and it has a root cause that causes that problem. So it's really just getting down and learning it and figuring it out and know what works what.
Right.
That's wild. I thought something else that was interesting just to add on to his like psychic powers. we were at a trade show and it was TAC, and this guy walks up and he starts talking about like, I can't remember. He was like having problems
What
in
day was it?
his thigh or second day, I think.
I think it's right after you left.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. We were just standing there talking to him, and he said something about having a problem with his leg or something like that. And then you were like, do you have lower back issues? And the guy was like, yeah, I do actually. And I was like, how do you do this? But it's just the fact that you've spent the hours, you've done the research, you have gotten the gosh, I can't speak. Certifications that you need.
I got you,
that you
bro.
need to do it. Thank you. That's why you're my co-host, man. But in order to do what you do now, which is just super cool to see.
A lot of bumps in the road for sure.
Yeah.
Hard place to get. And also, I've had myself to work on too, as I beat myself to death. So, I'm like, well, okay.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into some trade show stuff. So all of us go to the trade shows. I want to get back to your hydro dipping as well. So for everyone who doesn't know, this is what Justin does as the movement specialist, but he's also got a side business that he is getting started, which is really cool, and I want to go into detail about.
I think he's done about all of our platforms.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Hold on, I got to grab something, guys. All right, so this is the Seeker. Everybody that is listening to the podcast, you will not be able to see it. But everybody watching the podcast
Tune
on
in
YouTube.
to YouTube. You can watch it live.
Yep, go to YouTube, watch it. You'll be able to see. So this is the CRÜZR platform, and you have dipped it in camo.
That's just a taste of the capabilities of this man.
Yes. Go into detail about it.
So basically,
Well, would you just like, I'm just going to start hydro dipping?
well, really, this was what happened. So Chad and I was talking about, he's like, man, I'd really like to be able to offer some camo patterns. And I'm like,
Well,
well, okay.
gears turning.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, like I used to do Cerakoting a lot for a lot of guns. I was the only one. And so I was like, well, let me see if there's a market for something like this. And Got online, looked. Closest one's Murfreesboro, which is about 50 minutes from where we're at here. And I'm like,
It's a long, sucky drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Murfreesboro's not fun to go to anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I was like, maybe I'll look into it. I'll see about it. I'll see what all it would take. And so by Wednesday, I was buying the tanks and all that stuff. And then there I went.
It's pretty dang popping.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's going to keep me busy for sure.
Yeah. It already is keeping you busy.
Oh, yeah. I've got, I don't know, some people may have seen it that follow me and stuff, but it's the first mini seeker that's in Cuyo Verde. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's the only one dipped right now for sure. But, yeah, we threw the strata on that. I mean, it's not just throw film on water and put it in there.
Yeah.
There's a
lot of-
process.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
a professional.
Yeah, a lot of people think, well, you see some of these on YouTube. You can spray paint the water, you can put it in there. That's
Which you can buy DIY kits, but that is totally different.
Totally
yeah.
different.
This is a different story. I got a 300-gallon tank with heaters in it and pumps in it. Like, I mean, it's
legit.
it's legitimate. Like, we got blasting cabinets, degreaser, and I'm building a wash tank and stuff right now. But I mean, it's pretty much like prepping a car to paint.
Right.
That's pretty much what you're doing. You're trying to take it down to its bare surface. You have to prime it. You have to paint it. You have to put an adhesive promoter on it. And you're using a certain type of film, in which some films are only licensed to certain people, and you even have to get permission to use them.
Right.
So, like the first lot stuff, it's a no-go. There's
Yeah.
only one guy with permission to use it. So, my idea, futuristically, maybe we do come out with a camo pattern. I'm going to
Yeah.
get a film made, Maybe that'll be something to offer.
Yeah.
Jerry
Which-
Chad's call on that
yeah,
one,
yeah, that's definitely the internal CRÜZR HQ stuff.
Yeah.
But as of now, for people listening and watching, you can dip people's platforms right now.
Oh, yeah. Platforms, and I actually just made a post about Euro mounts because
Okay.
I have a feeling a lot of people's going to do pretty well with this cold front coming here.
Yeah.
We got about 2 days, and I know everybody here's pumped about that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
and
which we're going to talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah.
What about weaponry?
weaponry, yes, as of now, I have to have parts. I cannot receive or take apart, disassemble anything
Gotcha.
Okay.
until the FFL is complete. So if you brought me mags or a stock, no problem. But you cannot bring me, and I can't reassemble it. So
Okay.
that might be a little bit of a process at first,
Yeah.
because if something was too tight, we need to sand it down, whatever, clean it up. But so far so good. I hadn't had anything really just be, too crazy that I just couldn't handle.
And for everybody listening, this dude, super meticulous.
Yeah, as I would say, perfectionist is what I would say, but in a good way, in a
Yes.
very good way.
Yeah.
You definitely hold your work valuable, and this platform right here shows, dude.
Well, it's great, but it's it's not
It's
I mean,
evolving.
Everybody sees it, and I mean it does look great, but I'm like, man, I can just pick out the little bitty things,
Yeah.
But that's just how I am. It needs to be exactly right, But Ryan Hydrographic Design will have a website up soon.
Cool.
I actually have a TikTok built in the background. It's private though. I hadn't released it. I've just been doing dip videos and everything. And I'm just going to release it all at once. I'm just going to let it
Yeah.
roll. So
That's awesome. And then as far as that, people can still reach you through Facebook.
Facebook. I got
You're very
Instagram.
avid. Yeah, very, very active
He's a
in the
social
saddle
butterfly.
groups.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have to. I mean, the other side of my business stuff, it don't stop. So
Yeah. Well, that's one of the greatest things because it's anytime I get on Facebook, I see at least 4 posts by Justin Ryan.
Agreed.
I'm usually hitting the saddle people.
Oh, yeah.
They need to know.
Oh, yeah.
They need
I
to
love
know.
it. Anytime's which saddle should I buy? First comment I always see, CRÜZR Saddles by Justin Ryan. That's what it'll say. But yeah, let's talk about some trade show stuff. All of us do the trade shows, and I just want to ask you guys questions what is your things that you really enjoy about the trade shows, and as well as what's something that you've learned from the trade shows that you wouldn't expect? You want to start us off, Hunter? You need a second to think?
No, I'm good. But I just enjoy the camaraderie. Of course, I love getting to see their face, especially when the people that have never sat in a saddle and they're looking at it all wild-eyed,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't know, that don't look comfortable at all. And I'm like, man, just try it.
Yeah.
Just try it. And then when they sit in it, it's like, wow,
Yeah,
this is really comfortable.
everyone's faces the first time. They're like, "What the heck? I was not expecting this."
But
So close.
and another thing is there's a lot of women that hunt. I didn't realize how many girls saddle hunt. Which, you know, I mean, there's not really like a specific saddle on the market that I know of that's kind of geared towards a, you know, female body. But
We found that the Archon works really
yeah,
well.
that's what I mean, that's kind of what I was getting to. The Archon, I mean, we've had a lot of success of getting some women in it just because their shape, you know.
Yeah, the hourglass shape.
Right. But I mean, the trade shows are fun. Not only at the trade shows, but the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, just the camaraderie we get to have too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is so much. It's tiring. It's work, but man,
It's a good time.
it's a good time.
Dude, the amount of just like
Belly laughs.
yes, that I've had just driving up and down from state to state has been some of the most
Oh,
fun I've
man.
ever had.
Yeah, and yeah, man, it's been good. I think the Ohio Mobile Hunters Expo has probably been my favorite thus far.
Yeah, that's been a good one. What about you, Justin?
I mean, overall, I don't know. I like all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Justin's a good talker.
like
Dude, he
I
is.
like
he
to
can
talk
literally
to people.
talk to anybody.
And I mean, how many people told me no and they bought one?
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
That's-
okay.
that's definitely another thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to tell me no, and I'm like, well, let me give you what I know, you know. And I mean, how many famous people did I meet over the past few shows? I don't even know. Like,
Yeah, that's been something that's
I
been
was just
fun.
like, what in the world? Like, we're in Georgia. I mean, me and Jerry, Ed's down there, you know, and we're right next to the Talk About It guys. So, you know, shout out to them for sending people over there. And, you know, 7-time world turkey calling champion, blah, blah. He does all this stuff for charity. I'm like, you know, I didn't even know. I just talked to this guy.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. I've
Yeah.
met the famous people too, and they're like, "Bro, you know who that?"
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. I mean, I'm not trying to say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
it's-
I thought it was cool. Though,
Downplay
you know,
their,
just-
you know,
Their
famousness,
success.
but whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Like, dude, just, I mean, at the end of the day, they're just normal people like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that's been hilarious because it's like the Alabama show. Turtle Man was there.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah. And it's just so funny because I'm just like, me and I think it was Ed, we were walking and all of a sudden Turtle Man passes by and I go, Turtle Man. He turns around, he gives his call, and he goes, live action. And I was just like, dude, can I get a
So
picture?
it was like Switch.
Oh, dude, it was like he was having a serious conversation, and then the moment I said that, he became like a whole different person. But it was just super funny, and I just like,
Oh my
dude,
gosh, that was him.
yeah. Well, it's like the moment he said yee, I knew exactly who it was, you know. And so it was just funny to just like say, hey, let me grab a picture with you, and he's like, well, you're gonna have to like walk with me, and I was like, that's fine. And then I just like ask him a question, he answers it, and then I just move on with my life, and he moves on with his. But on top of that, just like the amount of people we meet,
Yeah.
it's just been super cool.
Oh yeah, and then all the fun we have on the, you know, putting it up, taking it down. You know, that's not that great of fun, but the in between, let's go eat, let's go to Top Golf, whatever. You know,
Yeah, whatever
It's
we
just
did.
hanging out, and then you know we get to go and mingle with these people outside the show.
Yeah, which has
You
been
know,
awesome.
That's awesome. Just to make those connections. You know, we've made friends with people like friendly enough.
yeah.
I'm sure that they would let me come and hang out and sleep at their house and spend
Yeah.
the night.
Oh,
if I
yeah.
wanted to, you know, 100%.
Yeah, we just spent 3 days with him, and it's like I've known him my whole life, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Had some hilarious stories.
Oh yeah, stuff we can't say it on the podcast, but some really funny stories.
Yeah, really fun. Well, we can say this. I mean, Jerry had like a full-on out Bible talk down there. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah,
had,
we
they
can
had
say
a,
that.
They had a full-on out session down there at the other
Yeah.
end of our table, and we was over here crying about something else, laughing.
So Jerry put him to a
he made sure
revival.
He made
Yeah.
sure they stayed straight. He's the one that keeps us
That's what I
up.
like about old Jerry.
You want to go into it a little bit?
Probably one of my favorite things about the trade shows is, you know, from the minute they open the doors in the morning to the public, and you have all these thousands of people that just come wandering in, and it seems like shortly after they open, the whole day goes by, and you're just talking to person after person after person, and you never know who the next person's where they're gonna be from.
Yeah.
You know what their sort of things they're into, but you get to have these conversations with real people, just normal folks
Right,
from
just
all
like
over
us.
the country, and that just makes it so much fun, and it's amazing, really.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the stories we hear of these giant bucks that people are killing, and then they show us a picture, and I'm just like, dude, that's a dream buck.
I know.
You
And when we touched on this, we were like, bro, I mean, because they're like, when we said, we was like, they don't have social media, they don't watch YouTube. Like,
yeah,
dude, you just killed this freaking
185.
moose.
Yeah,
And that, some people don't care about that
yeah,
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. Just the property they have, good genes, and
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I mean, there's some people that just slay big deer and you'll never know.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's for a fact.
And then they're go ahead.
No social media, like you said. Like I didn't have it until 14 or 15. I refused.
Well, sometimes I wonder, like, kind of wish I didn't have it, but
Yeah, same. But it's part of my life now. I have
I
to.
know it's just.
But with business,
From a business
and then
standpoint,
friends,
it's-
friends and family afar, it's kind of
yeah,
hard
it's
to.
nice.
But back to Jerry talking about just meeting different people and stuff. I mean, there's like, I don't know how many classes of people that we could break this down, but the one that I'm going to touch on is like, there's some people that roll through and like they hang out for like hours
Yeah,
and like tell you like their whole life story, which is no big deal. But I mean, there's some where it's just like, they talk for 3 or 4 hours and then they're gone and they make another loot and they
Come right back.
Come right
Honestly,
back.
we just need
Well,
to get
I mean,
the
they'll-
podcast set up there.
They'll come back, but they'll bring friends with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They'll-
yeah.
they'll
I'm not
drag people.
saying it's bad, but I mean, there's because like some people when they approach, they either they hunt have a lock on or they're a climber person or whatever, and sometimes they come up and they're kind of, I'm not gonna say hateful, but kind of hateful because they're kind of like,
So skeptical.
I'm not
of it.
sitting in that or whatever, or blah blah blah. We've had people that come up and they're like, I seen that crap, I ain't blah 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 blah.
Oh man, I got to tell you the best one.
And then they come and they sit in it, or they watch their buddy sit in it, and they're kind of turning their head, and they're like, yeah, I might sit in it. And every time you can almost guarantee that they're going to take one home with them.
You see that light bulb come on.
Well, I mean, that's the great thing about trade shows. You can go to one of these things, you can try something before you buy it.
Right. And I think
know.
that's a lot of people's thing.
And another thing about the general public when you're at one of these things is something I've learned just going to these things is that it's great to interact with these people because you learn really quickly that the sort of hunting community, the sort of outdoors people, they're salt of the earth. They're some of the best people
Very.
you can.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, just down to earth, real. They bring real questions, real concerns, and they're super easy to talk to. And
Yeah, and there's a low percentage left. And I feel like we have to protect that. Like that's our job.
It is so weird that you can literally meet somebody that you've literally never met, and all y'all have to relate is hunting. But like Jerry said, like you can literally talk for like 10 words, and you're like, this dude is me, and I'm him.
Yeah, like we could probably go and eat right now.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's awesome. I think that's what I love about it.
The best one that I seen at the show, and Ed can vouch for me on this. This is before Jerry got there this morning. All right, so we're in Georgia. This guy comes up. He's in a wheelchair, no legs. He said, "I just want to tell you guys how much we appreciate your CRÜZR saddle and how comfortable it is." And I'm looking at this guy, trying not to be rude. I'm like, is this guy really getting in a saddle? And he put on prosthetic legs, and he loves the saddle. He told us.
Wow.
And I was like, if anybody comes through today and tells me they're too old, they're too fat, they can't get in a saddle, it's uncomfortable. I'm like,
Bull.
nope. This guy right here, he literally has prosthetic legs, and he's going up the
If
tree.
there's a will,
he
there's
loves
a
it.
way.
I'm like, there's no excuses for the rest of this day. And that's the day we did the best. Like, it literally was.
Yeah.
Amen.
And we don't bring the hardcore sales pitch. I mean, we
really don't.
We don't say, hey, man, this is the only way to hunt.
Oh,
You know,
no.
we're
Yeah.
not reinventing the wheel here. But the one thing that we do know is that it's a great tool to have in your arsenal.
Yeah.
100%.
And it just opens up so many more opportunities for you. You
Right.
might as well try it,
Because majority of hunters probably got those couple staple private properties where they got wood stands that they built with their grandpappy or what, and they're going to hunt them. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like Jerry said, that's kind of what I kind of, not pitch, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this ain't the only way to hunt, but it is an amazing tool.
Right. Yeah.
My favorite thing is just like when somebody comes up and says like, give me your sales pitch. I always tell them like, well, I don't want to sell this to you. I was like, I want the product to sell it to you. I was like, just sit in it. Just try it. And every time, like we were talking about earlier, it's just that light bulb that switches in their head. They're like, wow, I see what people are talking about when I get in a saddle and how much more comfortable this is.
But then, and then you get those hardcore guys where they're like, well, I mean, it's comfortable. I mean, I've been sitting here for 5-10 minutes, but how is it all day?
Yeah.
Well, dude,
Sit in it.
just sit. I mean, if you want to sit all day, you can.
Yeah,
I always
go
encourage
for it.
people. Yeah, and for everybody listening as well, I'm going to let Jerry talk about the trade shows that we're going to be going up into for next year. So we won't be going into any more trade shows. It's hunting season. All of us will be very busy hunting.
I think trade show season's pretty much run its course for this year. And
Yeah, for this year, we're pretty much done. We're just focused on hunting season, getting gear out the door, making sure people can get something if they want something from us. But yeah, we're excited about next year's trade show season. Of course, we've got ATA coming up. We're going to be there. We're going to be we're going to be going to the same shows we went to last year.
NWTF.
NWTF. We're going to be going to the World Deer Expo in
Birmingham.
Yeah, we're going to be going to. I'm hoping they put on that mobile deer.
Expo.
Yeah, they said
They're
something
gonna do
about possibly
that.
putting it on in Nashville.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
going
that'd
to
be
be doing
awesome.
all the we're going to be making the same circuit that we made last year, but we're going to add the one in Harrisburg, PA.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's the Great American Outdoorsman
Yeah,
show.
it's like 10 days long, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's a long
9 or
show,
10 days.
but
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
we're going to have
excited
a
for it.
lot of fun there.
Ain't it like the biggest one in North America or the biggest
I
one
think
in
it's
the
the
U.S.?
world, maybe. I think it might be the world.
I know.
Chad was telling. Well, I
Yeah,
think
the-
you and
well,
Chad were
yeah,
telling me
they're-
you're like, dude, this thing is gargantuan.
It's a big show. I mean, they're bussing people in. There's a ton of vendors, and
Over
we're
1,000
excited about
vendors, I
it, yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm. We're going back to TAC, bow shoot.
Oh
believe
yeah,
so,
I'm sure.
Those are so much fun.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you said it, but the Iowa Deer Classic, I think, will be at that one as well. So,
Oh, yeah, the Iowa. Yeah.
yeah, which I'm going to segue into this. So, one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is since we are not going to be at any trade shows for the rest of the year, I want to talk about the dealer program and how that might be an opportunity for people to try out our saddle, when we're not at trade shows.
Yeah, I mean, so the great thing about trade shows, people always want to try these things before they buy them. We try to take as best of care as we can of people that are buying things blind from us online. They don't know whether it's going
Right.
to work for them or not. So we give them a 30-day money-back guarantee, 30-day size exchange. It's free both ways. We pay the shipping if it doesn't fit right. So we try to make up for that. But we've also just this summer we've launched our dealer program. So people that have retail sort of outdoor themed stores, whether it's a hunting store or an
Archery shop.
bow shop or something like that. We've started accepting applications for people to become dealers for us, and we have picked up a few really good stores around the country, but we're still working to get more coverage nationwide. But there's not a lot of coverage at the moment because it's still sort of a fairly new thing that we've taken on. But if you don't find that there's anybody close to you and you want to go try a saddle on and there's nothing nearby, if you've got a favorite bow shop or if you own check us out online, dealers.cruiser.shop. Fill out the application if you want to be a dealer, or you send us a referral. We love to do business with people.
Yeah, you do have a few requirements, too. They have to have a storefront.
They need a
just do it
storefront,
online,
yeah.
out of the garage, because obviously quality product, we need that type
Well,
of
and
business.
we want our customers to have a good experience in the store. We're looking at small, mom and pop style operations that we feel are going to bring the best customer experience. They're going to be super knowledgeable about their products. They're going to take great care of their customers.
Right.
So when somebody walks in the door, we just want the CRÜZR brand to be well represented.
Right. That's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But again, for anyone listening, please recommend us, any person that owns a bow shop that you think our product should be in, or if you own a business and you would like our product to be in your store, again, please contact us through What is the URL again?
Yeah, so it's dealers.cruiser.shop. That's where dealers can go and apply to become one. There's also a link on our homepage at cruiser.com. But with that being said, I mean, even if we don't have a dealer in your area, you can call us, you can get on our website, place an order. We're going to make sure you're taken care of. And it's just if you want something in the area that you can try on local, if it's, obvious. The goal is that we'll have somebody in as many parts of the country as possible where you can go try one of these things on.
Yeah. All right. Well, that leads me to my next thing. Season. It's upon us, boys.
Ooh,
It's close.
the weather's
It's starting
even
to get cold.
even the weather knows.
This is
knows
going to be
what's
good.
up.
This is
Yeah.
going to be good.
Like
You-
49 in the morning.
You feeling good for season?
Oh man, I mean I'm tired. I've had a long week, but I'm so ready.
Yeah. Week just got longer.
Just
Oh,
bring
for
me,
sure.
just bring me the Euro mounts when you guys get them.
Oh, yeah. We definitely will. Dude, honestly, I think
You
this
Euro
year...
Mountain Does.
I mean, I guess you could. I mean, if you're feeling froggy, I mean, it'd be a cool centerpiece to the table. I mean,
Yeah, honestly, that would. Yeah, I honestly think if I end up killing any form of buck this year, it's all going to be Euro.
sweet. Yeah.
I don't know
Sorta,
what it is
I
about
mean-
it, but I love them.
What's on the agenda for you?
Well, I mean, we
If
talked
it's brown,
about...
it's down. Or are you horn hunting? Or
If it's got meat, it's dead. That's
Yeah.
that's about where I'm at. I've
Yeah.
got a goal. I talked about it the first episode too. I want to fill my freezer up to where it actually lasts me a full year.
Oh, yeah.
That was my problem last year where I just didn't get enough meat.
Yeah.
And about January, February, I started getting low.
You should have 3 kids at home eating it, too.
Oh yeah, see
It's
that.
fun times.
I mean, I'm usually a horns guy. Like I'm hunting for horns, but this year, if it's brown,
It's down.
I'm going to send
it's
a few.
going
huh?
on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it.
Just get it
Yeah.
on film. Good footage. For
Oh
the-
yeah,
for the-
I've got the cameras
Oh, yeah.
ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, dude.
Have you seen a buck that you like, though?
Oh, I've seen a few that I like.
He's got a couple that he likes.
yeah,
But he's got a couple that I like.
Well, I knew the answer to it, but I know, like
I got a couple
I,
that I like for sure, but I guess you kind of say they're easier to pattern earlier in the year, but
yeah.
I mean, some of the bucks that we were seeing, late July, early July, late July, early August, some of our big daddies, they gone.
They're probably off
Yeah.
rubbing, changed the fall pattern. They're
Yeah,
kind of-
but I mean, we still got a couple locals that are,
Good
with
deer.
a bow, it's definitely game on. With a rifle or something, let
Yeah.
them grow. But
yeah.
I mean, down there, my dad's he's the sheriff, the warden, all that good stuff. So
Hey, gotta
he's the one that
respect
babies them. So
Yeah.
he says what goes and what don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I got permission on a property that I'm super excited about because the guy's a farmer and he grows like pumpkins, okra, all this stuff.
And he
all for the
wants them
farm.
the heck out of there.
He wants them out of there. So these
That's what
first
he
couple
said.
weeks, I'm thinking we're all sitting in one blind and we're going to be laying them down.
He said death dart going
What about
out.
you, Justin?
I'll probably shoot a doe right off the bat. That's,
So
what,
if
that's what I usually do. And now there's one buck. I call him Clyde. I've watched him for a while.
So if Clyde tries by,
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. He's a good deer.
Clyde's
But-
going to die.
Yeah. Sorry about that. He's got a bunch of buddies with him too, though. There's some good ones, but I don't know. I just like him.
unfortunate for him.
Yeah. Unfortunate for him. I hope.
I don't know how far you want to go into detail about this, but I know you got a certain other type of animal on camera as well.
So he stopped showing up. So
Did he
not-
really?
I'm not really sure.
What is it?
The big bear.
Big bear?
Big bear.
Oh, Smokey the Bear.
Like 300-400 pound giant. Like,
Oh, wow.
Eat the feeder. Like, eat it. It's huge. But
So a nice living room rug.
yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
Dude,
And
that'd be awesome.
Dude,
And
that'd be so cool.
And it's a buddy's property, but I help him manage it. I'm the only one that'll ever go up there and help him cut trees and plant and whatnot. So he's like, "You get first call." So
Well, if he kills this thing, maybe he needs to make like a jacket, or he can throw it over his head and wear it to
that'd be
trade
so
shows.
cool.
just wear it around. But speaking of different animals, there's about 40 pigs down there the other day because I know
For
you're
real. Oh,
done.
dude, I'm itching to get some pig, man.
I've got
Dude, I want one so bad, man.
well, the Wallers was it was ridiculous how long they were. Like, I mean, it was so obvious. I'm like, yeah, I just got here just in time.
This ain't gonna be no Charlotte's Web. It's gonna be Charlotte's Dead.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Well, Ed and I have both decided we're going to try to spear one. So
oh, dude.
Oh, like straight Tim Wells style.
straight up spear it from the saddle too. Right up.
Oh, man.
Nobody's done that yet, to my knowledge. So I know he's over here loving this plan right now.
Oh yeah, he's doing the like Squanto like Tommy Hawk thing.
But I mean, they were coming in there, and I had some last year on camera that, you know, we all was just like, that thing is up to our chest.
So do you have a spear?
Well, we looked at them, so we're like, he's found a lot of really cool ones. So I'm like, we'll just get one. We'll
Dude,
see. We'll see.
I
how
think it
it
would
goes.
be even cooler if you make one.
I might do that.
I can make you one.
Actually, I have a guy that does that and makes Damascus, so he
for
could
real?
probably forge me one and send it to me. That'd be pretty cool.
Dude, that'd be.
If it's
That would be
Damascus,
bad,
I'd
hey.
be like, hey, just do the tip because
Yeah.
you have like a $40,000 big spear.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
It'll be worth it.
As long as it does its
You got
job.
like an old truck you don't care about. We can just like weld it to the front and go through there and just like a hay fort.
Is that even legal?
Uh,
I mean,
it'd be cool.
It would be really cool.
I think. I mean, they're considered a pest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can hunt them year round.
nuisance. Yeah.
And like if you like I know a lease that I was on, the guy that manages the lease, he got a permit from the TWRA.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course everybody on the lease were leasees or signees or whatever. So they had like a drop box there for all the I mean, if you were on that lease, you can hunt 24 hours, night or day.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
So I mean the hay fork truck could be
an idea.
Department of Ag sometimes pays people to go and do that.
Yeah, I mean
on public land.
TWRA like rounds them up with helicopters and like blows the crap out of them with ARs and stuff.
Dude, there's a brutal video. I'm not going to go into like super detail about it, but this dude.
Kind of gory.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like, it's probably a little unethical, but if you ever watch the video and you hate pigs, it's a great video to watch. But the dude has like a good, I don't know, it's probably like 3 pounds of tannerite. And then,
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah, pours
Oh,
out the
boy.
corn.
yeah, pours out the corn, gets 60 pigs wild up, and then
Dude,
just
there's
one
pork
bullet
chops going everywhere.
everywhere.
Have you
dude.
ever eat pork chops out of a wild boar, like fresh?
Dude,
pork
that's
chops?
what I want, man.
See, I've heard mixed. I've heard that wild pigs are good, and I've also heard that they're not good.
You want to shoot one 200 pounds or under, because
But the
Okay.
meat
And
don't
the-
last as long, right?
Well,
like you
I
got to
mean-
get to them pretty quick.
I mean it.
Like I'm.
If they're running, it's kind of like a deer in rut. You know, they can leak over
Ugh.
into that meat. You know what I mean? If they're calm and you shoot them a lot of times and they go down, no lie. Ed told me he did not want to eat wild boar. Like, he was just not about it. I made some rotel at the house. I mean, he's just murdering it.
You didn't tell him.
Didn't tell anybody. You know, and they're like, "Oh, this is so good." I was like, "That's that wild boar." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." But the pork chops were absolutely the best thing I've ever ate off the grill.
Wow.
But an
Golly.
old guy told me a long time ago. He said, if you shoot one, make sure it's under 200 pounds. He said, then it gets fatty and nasty after that.
Okay.
And that one was like 178 or something that I shot, which there was just a ton of them. I shot it with a muzzle loader.
Golly.
I creeped over a little bluff, and my dad's like, "You better not go up there. You're gonna get killed." And I was like, looked over.
Dude, them things are mean.
Well,
yeah.
I looked over the hedge like a kid looking over a bed. So I'm like peeked over, and I was like, "There's about 20." I was like, getting my gun off. He's like, "You better not." And I'm just over here not listening. You know, typical me. Boom, just dropped him. When the smoke cleared, I had no idea where.
Well, I mean,
Golly.
not last year, but the year before last. Did I show you that picture of that one that me and my uncle killed during turkey season?
No.
Oh, I got to tell you the story. So it was me, my uncle, and then his son. And he was like, I don't know how old he is now, like 12, 13. I don't know. He's a little kid. But anyways, we get there late, walking up this creek. And on both sides of the creek's like it's like it's like a ditch, like a 7-8 foot drop. So we just use, and like this creek runs right through the middle of this massive field. It's like 200-acre field. Like the creek splits it in half. So we just use that to go up and down, and we just walk up and down the creek and kind of scan. And so we're walking up this creek, and like I look to the left, and like there's a bunch of canes, and like, I mean, it's daylight, but it ain't like the sun ain't overhead yet.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of grainy. And I'm like, what the? He was like, what is that, a dead bird? I'm like, it's a hog. And dude, I just started freaking blasting with a 12 gauge. And so back up when we got there, my uncle showed up with no shells. So I had to give him 2 of my shells. So I had 3 and he had 2. That's all we had.
Golly.
So like initial shot, I just freaking mow the cane down. And dude, I emptied my gun in like 5 seconds. And we run up the bank, and my uncle is like Matrix, like shotgun sideways, like right over top of this thing, just freaking mowed 2 right in its head.
Golly.
TSS or just regular old turkey?
Just regular old turkey load. Meanwhile, we didn't know there's a dude hunting in the field, like he's got his decoys out, and all he just sees the cane rattling, and like us, I guarantee he was like, what the fuck is going on? And we ended up killing this thing, and dude, it was a freaking brute of a boar. I bet it was over 300 pounds.
Oh boy.
Golly,
Didn't eat it though? Didn't? Too much, probably too much.
No,
lead in it.
didn't. We did end up, dude, it did. But like most of it didn't even penetrate it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
They got like in front of their brisket, they got like it's like a shield or armor or something.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like
level 3 armor or
Yeah.
something.
dude,
It's
you
huge.
cannot penetrate that crap.
Dude, that's literally what I've heard from everybody is how hard it is to kill
But this
them.
thing looked like it comes straight out of Russia. Like it was straight razorback.
Golly.
He said, "This is a giant.
I mean,
Do not recommend."
yeah, it was wild. But I mean, I would have never. I mean, that's the only one that I've ever had an encounter with, and it was a wild one. Because like this thing stood up and was like, you know, like trying to posture up. And of course, we got my little cousin with us. We're like, screw this thing.
Yeah.
You better step back.
Yeah, no joke. Like we didn't even say anything to each other. Like we just
You not carry a sidearm, no pistol?
no. He had one, but of course it was in his truck. Usually we carry it, but because up there on that lease, I mean, there's tons of hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I refused to go without a pistol. I had a coyote come in and try to jump on me calling turkey one
Golly.
time. He tried to get me. I rolled him down the bank, though. And I'm like, yeah, we're not going anywhere without a pistol. You know, and then same thing. Like there's one spot we walk back all the time, and multiple times, big old razorback Russians, they come out and they'll stop in the road, and you look like, oh, and you know, you're just not fast enough. But I mean,
I was just,
they
this
just walk out and
dude,
look like, oh,
dude, they're like full blown derby horses. I mean,
yeah,
they
they're
can
fast.
straight get it.
Golly.
they are fast.
I love watching the videos of like, you'll see just 5 guys dressed in orange lined up, just going to town on these pieces of ham.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just see a hog just start charging them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, dude, they can, like the cutters on that one that we killed. Dude, if he'd have got a hold of you, if he got you
They would
down,
have
he'd
done some
kill you.
damage.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well-
last year we went to a property and hunted Michael and I, and it was a buddies up in Clark Range. And just we're like hearing something in the woods, and we're all just camping, and then all of a sudden this dog comes out, and this dog is like mutilated.
Was it that German Shepherd y'all saw?
No, I wish it was. But we weren't even hunting yet. It was like probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were just hanging out with a bunch of guys around a campfire.
So was it a hog dog?
Yeah, and I felt so bad for this poor little dog, because this dog, you could tell that his back
Did it have a
legs were-
vest on it or anything?
No, and which, dude, there's people in this world that just do not care about their animals at all. And I felt so bad for this dog. And, you know, probably about, I don't know, 4 hours after that. So it was probably like 5 a.m. We didn't go to bed at all. And then
Right.
we just went and hunted. But you just hear somebody whistle and that dog takes off. And I'm just like, what the heck?
Hey,
Oh yeah.
but as mutilated as that dog looked, that dog was probably in freaking heaven.
Yeah, he was having a blast.
I mean,
I
them
guarantee
things
it. They live for it for
are,
sure.
are freaking ferocious when it comes to that.
Yeah, we'll try to get you one.
Dude, I
we
want
know,
one.
We know that there's a lot at.
Yeah,
it's just
I want
about
one
getting
bad.
it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, their nose is better than any, even when
Yeah.
it's stuck in the dirt. It's insane that they can smell stuff. The way
Well, I
they
mean,
do.
they're like one of the smartest animals there is.
No.
How's the bacon on it?
It was, I mean, I didn't get it this last time, but I've had it before. I mean, it didn't taste any. I don't think it was any different than
Okay.
It's every bit of it's leaner though. You don't get as much fat.
Which I'm okay with because
As
I
long-
actually prefer my meat pretty lean.
Yeah. So
Do you?
sub
Yeah.
200. Hey, there you go.
Dude, actually, people give me crap because I don't like mixing. Like, if I make ground venison, I don't mix anything with it.
See,
Oh,
most
yeah.
people, I've been on a bearded butcher's.
Oh,
kick.
yeah. I love their stuff.
I love
dude.
those guys. But, I want to try to process my own deer this year, so I've been watching a lot of them.
Dude,
And I
I'll help
think
you with that.
And they said I think they said they had like 10% pork fat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't use any fat. And something I noticed when I'll actually make burgers, a lot of people don't realize this, but if you just beat the crap out of that meat, those proteins will break down. It'll become a lot more sticky.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you cook it right and you mix it with some good stuff, like it's still really juicy meat.
Well, they said in one of their videos, I don't know how true it is because obviously I haven't processed my own, but they say the more fat, which our deer down here, y'all know, ain't real fat like
Yeah.
an Ohio deer that they were doing, but
Yeah.
they say the more fat that you leave on it, you'll get more of that gamey taste. And I'm one to say I
I'm not
can't
a
do
big
the
fan
gamey
of it.
taste, but I guess that's why they add the pork fat in
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You
because
can do-
obviously
you can
it's
do it
lean.
from-
Plus, it probably gives it.
Yeah, it gives
'cause
it a
pork
little
fat
bit
is
more.
real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to taste better, and then it gives you like a better consistency when you're making ground.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people use that fruit and make a brine. You leave it in a brine overnight, and it'll take that game taste right out.
Yeah, or
People do
fill
that
a
with
cooler
turkey.
with salt.
Yeah,
and-
people
And
do that with turkey.
Another
meat and
thing
stuff,
they
too.
said about the gamey taste too was like when you're skinning it, just be take your time.
Take
and
your time.
Be careful because
Yeah.
they say if you get any hair in that meat,
You'll
Yeah.
taste it.
Yeah.
it makes it taste gamey.
Wes,
and
you
I can see
let
that.
yours hang.
No, so a
They
little bit
say
more
that
background.
makes all the difference in
Yes.
the world.
It's a
Yes.
huge difference.
Now, I will say once it gets colder, I don't have a place to let it really hang.
I don't
But
either.
once it gets
Yeah.
colder, this year I am going to do that.
Yeah, let it hang. a
They
few
let it
days.
hang like 8 to 10 days.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
fixing
was
to
gonna say
say
8 days.
About 5-6 days.
I was fixing to say 4 or 5 days around here.
Yeah.
you're good. And they
Yeah.
say, like I said, it makes.
It
they say
does.
it makes a huge difference.
They taste way better. I
Yeah.
think. Jerry, you ever eat deer? You've eaten deer,
Oh, yeah.
right? Okay. What's your favorite?
He's a venison connoisseur.
Cube steaks, ground.
Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Oh, I love cube steaks.
Dude, that inner loin, man.
Give it 2 days.
The
and
inner loin. Oh,
You know how calorie dense an inner loin is?
I do actually.
You would be surprised.
what does that even mean, boy?
Okay, so when you got a package, a Coca-Cola can, and it says how many calories are on the back.
260,
How much does it say on that?
240, 260,
Just 140, Justin. Jeez.
140. Okay.
So 140 calories.
Wait a minute. How many
That's
servings?
probably, yeah,
How
I was
many
fixing to say, that's
servings?
probably like a teaspoon. No, it says 1 can.
Okay. All right. I thought it was
I'm a
more.
little shocked. I'm gonna be honest.
I thought it was more.
Shout out to Coca-Cola.
Do you just guess how many calories do you think are in one inner loin?
I mean, would it depend on like the deer's diet or?
No, there's just like a general
Um,
just a general number that people go off of.
87.
More like 700. One inner loin is like 700 calories.
Wow.
Yeah. And most people don't need any more than about 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I eat way more
Most
than that.
Yeah.
Most people eat about 4,000. You know. So,
Yeah. That's just wild to me. Literally almost half of what a daily
That's why I need to
calorie
be
intake
eating
would
deer
be.
because, like, every time I go have my blood work every year, they're like, hey, liver enzymes elevated. I'm like, how do you cure it? Eat less fatty foods.
Yeah. Lean meat. Yeah. And it's very lean because their diet. You know, the acorns, the greens. So.
Mhm. Yeah, and so what? You've never really processed your deers before?
No, I'm not really. I Well, I kind of am ashamed to say that.
No,
but-
you don't have to be ashamed of it. I know lots of people that prefer not to do it. It's a lot of work.
Oh,
Right.
it's a ton of work. I
Yeah.
did it
And
forever.
you gotta,
and then
I
quit.
mean, if you ain't got nowhere to get inside or at least under a roof,
Yeah.
it's hard. But I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't care. I'll do it outside.
Yeah, which last year I didn't even have a garage to do it in. I just hung it from a tree.
Yeah. See, that's how I'm gonna try to make like a little H frame and maybe make me like a small wooden table and like wrap it in some stainless steel or something. That way I can, granted, if the weather act right for 4 or 5 days, I'm gonna let it hang if I can. Just because I mean,
With Tennessee
obviously
weather,
there's
it's hard.
something to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some people that let it, like I seen this thing on Instagram where this dude killed one in November and like he let it hang till like March.
Yeah, some people
And
they
he
do a dry
like,
age.
cut it. Yeah, he like it was just like white. It looked like mold. And he cut it. I mean, it ate it straight off and he was like, I mean, you won't get no better.
Yeah,
Golly.
yeah. Get you a little come along.
The
That'd be
meat was
that'd be
like-
the trick. Just
The meat was like purple,
yeah.
but it looked so good.
Yeah, I'll help you with that, dude. Bearded butchers have so much good content on how
Yes,
to
they do.
like
That I mean, I've watched the
process
same
your
video
own
like
meat.
Yeah.
because that's my thing. Because you see a lot of processors like do a lot of knife work. These dudes that I mean, like they barely touch the meat with their knife because they're like, I mean, if you know where the muscles lie, I mean, you just pull them right apart.
Yeah, you can pull it apart. I mean, realistically, there's only a couple of cuts that you actually really have to cut into the meat. Besides that, like when you're separating those muscles apart, you're not really cutting the meat. You're cutting like tendons, that fat in between the muscles. That's what you're really cutting.
I mean,
up.
they go through and show you like, cutting the silver skin off the back straps and stuff. I was ignorant to that kind of stuff. I didn't.
The silver skin is fascia. That's what fascia is in
Yeah.
our body.
So that's fashion.
That's fascia
Yeah.
right there. The nice white grainy stuff.
I'm gonna
that
call
you
it
can't-
fashion.
You can't get
It's
the
hard.
skin off of it, you know, and you
I
have
do.
to really slice it.
They just
That's
fillet it like they do a fish,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I know obviously
need a
a
good
sharp
knife,
knife.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
You need
gonna,
a really good knife.
I'm gonna get the ones that they use, the
Yeah.
Victor Knox.
Oh, dude.
They got them at Highland Hardware,
Do they really?
$23.
How about that?
I'll
I
be
guess-
over there tomorrow.
Yep,
Thank you.
dude.
I didn't even know they sold them, and me and my buddy was in there the other day getting something for work, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the one these dudes. He's like, are those the knives that the processing videos you've been watching? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, no, they've got some really good content. I'll help you a lot because last year, every deer that I killed, my buddies killed, I processed.
Well, I was going to talk to Chad and be like, hey, man, we need to set us up like a little something in the parking lot, or not in the
Outback-
parking lot,
outback
but
here.
out back where we can hang them and cut them up. That'd be cool.
Dude,
Wow.
I'd love for a little CRÜZR cooking channel too. I got to talk to Chad about it, but I think that'd be fun.
Well, hey, it's a lifestyle.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in. Let's do it.
That'd be awesome if we could collab with those dudes.
Oh, dude. Have you ever had their spices before?
No, my dad has, though. He's a fanboy.
Yeah, they've got some good stuff.
Did you cook those doves? You did, didn't you? You said that something
Oh,
about the last
man.
show.
Dude.
Good. Well,
Do you got
your,
some of their spices?
Your wife did, huh?
Oh, yes, she
She
did.
showed you what was going on.
Yes, she did. Don't get me started on that.
He was like, dude.
Oh, he's excited again.
Yeah. I think he did get excited for real.
Yeah.
Dude, it was pretty funny after we did the podcast. My wife texted her family and her dad and sent them exactly in the video where I say, "This is turning me on." And I'm in the group chat and everybody's just laughing. I'm like, "What the heck?"
Oh, got him.
Dude, but those doves were so good.
Yeah, but see how many it took, though.
Yeah.
That was why I told
Yeah,
you.
it only
I
takes like
love-
1,000 for an appetizer.
Yeah, like a warm up, like all 10 of us needed to make sure we shoot our limit, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, which we need to get back out there.
yeah.
Hunter's got to join us too.
Yeah.
Well, the only bad thing right now is though this dip in the temperature, man, it kills the flying.
Oh yeah, I'm done with birds this year.
Does it really?
Oh,
Yeah. The cooler it gets, I'm not a dove expert, but everybody that I've talked to said when the temperature starts dropping, they just don't fly.
Yeah.
As much.
December will be bird time again.
Okay.
I was fixing to say they have another 2 or 3 more dove seasons. They have one in like the end
I don't know.
of October
I just
and
know
one in
ducks.
December. Or
I just
something.
know
yeah,
duck.
mostly just duck then.
I know duck comes in around then.
I don't do ducks.
Well, I didn't until last year, but it was pretty fun. It's kind of like dove hunting though. Like I don't know.
Like I've
It
been
didn't seem
duck hunting
hard.
before, but it was when I was like really, 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 really young.
Yeah.
And dude, I froze to death.
Dude, we literally stood next to a pond with this guy's dog, my buddy, and like they was just flying into this farm pond. They just come zooming in, just boom, boom, boom. Dog went out there and got them. I was like, this is too easy. But it's kind of like,
so they were like
so it's kind of like dove hunting,
farm
in a
ducks.
sense. Well, I mean, they was just landing in these fields of water. He just knew where they would land. I mean, he'd already scouted it, and I was like, this is pretty easy. It's pretty cool right here. I'm just standing out here and hanging out. So, pretty fun.
Shoot. Well, that gets me excited. All right, well, I'm going to move on to something else. And sadly, everybody's got to get up from their chairs. I'm gonna bring in some people and introduce them.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
You guys will be back here in just a second.
All right. Sounds cool.
Go ahead, guys. Come on up. I'm going to stay, though. I'm the host. All right, so for everybody listening, we've got some guys coming up on the table right now. You guys can just sit wherever you want to. Just grab those headphones. All right. So, you guys are officially the CRÜZR Outdoors team.
That's right.
How does that make you feel?
Pretty
Important.
excited.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. I'm going to start with you. Introduce yourself.
I'm Jace. I'm from Morristown, Tennessee.
Get a little bit closer to the mic.
It's about an hour east of Knoxville. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a pretty cool place.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to tech?
I am going to tech. I'm a freshman, structural engineering at the moment.
Okay.
We'll
May
see.
change. Yeah.
Math, it's fun.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah.
Heck yeah. What about you?
Chandler Fryer. I am from Ooltewah, Tennessee.
Okay.
Just past Chattanooga, if you're coming from Cookeville. I am actually double majoring at Tennessee Tech in agriculture. The concentrations are agricultural engineering and agribusiness management. So,
Okay, that's complicated.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
say
a
much.
long
I didn't
one.
go to college, so.
It's a mouthful.
And then what about you?
So I'm Evan Winnie. I'm from New Hope, Tennessee in Marion County.
Okay.
I'm also a freshman at Tennessee Tech studying electrical engineering.
Okay, so we have 3 engineers as the team. So you guys, for everybody who doesn't know yet, which no one does, you guys are going to be the crew that's going to help us film. You guys are also going to be on camera as well for our CRÜZR Outdoors YouTube channel. So
Right.
all of the content that's about to be coming out, you guys will be the people behind the camera and in front of the camera.
Sounds
It's
like
exciting.
fun.
You guys excited for this season?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to lay some down.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, my mouth is salivating, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
beyond ready.
Especially with
Yeah.
the 55-degree weather.
Oh man, it's starting to feel so good.
Man, I left all my sweatshirts at home though. It's the only
That's okay,
problem.
man.
So
Academy, we got an academy. You'll be able to
yeah,
get hooked up
yeah. Saturday morning,
first day.
hey, something's going down.
I hope so.
Better
I
sharpen
saw
the
me and
knives.
Chandler still got to figure out what we're gonna be doing for Saturday. But what about you,
Yeah.
Jace?
Saturday, I'm going out of town with the organization back on campus. So I'm really bummed about that.
So you're not even gonna be hunting.
Well, I've already hunted this year. Kentucky's deer season opens.
How'd that go?
Terrible. So, you know what's terrible about cell cams? It makes you look like an idiot. You know, you can look at it and be like, "Oh, there's nothing been showing up for 2 months this time," and get hungry, get lazy, and ready to go eat. And then 10 minutes later, there it is.
Someone shows up.
It's pretty hurtful, but
Golly.
That's better than being in the tree and looking at your deer on the camera and you can't see it.
Yeah. Because did that happen to you last season?
On the velvet hunt this year.
Oh gosh,
Yep.
man.
Yep, target buck just standing there. It was 5 minutes too late.
Golly, that's more action than what I got, dude. I didn't see anything for
Yeah,
velvet
my
this year.
my deer absolutely disappeared this velvet season. I'm sitting here like opening the 5th Little Debbie, and he's texting me, dude, my shooter's in front of me, but I just can't see him.
Oh gosh.
It's a bad day when you've ate 5 little Debbies already.
And in a deer stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly. All right, well, cool. Everybody, this is kind of it for the CRÜZR podcast episode 3. Hunter, come on back up in this with me. Jason, I'm going to get you to move.
yeah, sure.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. Mr. Hunter, do you have anything else you want to say before we head out? He's getting back on the mic.
Do what, man?
You have anything else you want to say before we head out?
Man, good luck to everybody. Be safe. And Man, I hope them target bucks fall like dominoes.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one.